Hello boys and girls, welcome back to our very own reading corner, guys. So today we're going to be reading a book called Flat Stanley at Bat. So I'm pretty sure most of you guys have always heard of Flat Stanley, but this book is Flat Stanley at the Bat. So let's head on. Stanley Lambchop lived with his mother, his father, and his little brother Arthur. Stanley was 4 feet tall, about a foot wide, and half an inch thick. He had been flat ever since a bulletin board fell on him. Sometimes being flat was a bit tricky, but he turned sideways. Stanley was hard to spot, and a good gust of wind could sweep Stanley off his feet, but he never let his flatness get in his way. "I'm trying out for baseball," Stanley told Arthur one day. Arthur helped Stanley practice. Stanley hit 1,000 pitches. He got 1,000 fly balls. Stanley's hard work showed at tryouts. "Congratulations," said Coach Bart. "You're our new center fielder." Opening day was bright and breezy. The teams ran onto the field. "There's Stanley!" cried Arthur. Mr. Lambchop snapped a picture. Miss Lambchop cheered. "Hooray for the players, too," she added politely. Stanley was the first batter. He stepped up to home plate, turned sideways, and pulled his bat. The pitcher squinted at Stanley. "The guy is so skinny," he said. "I can hardly see where to throw." He threw a pitch. "Ball 1, said the umpire. "Another pitch. Ball 2, said the umpire. 2 more balls, and Stanley earned a walk. "Good job," said Coach Bart. Stanley team played well, but the 9th inning they led 6-5. The other team had one last chance. Their best hitter came to bat and blasted the ball towards the fence. Just then the breeze picked up. Stanley ran and leaped into the wind. Whoosh! Up floated Stanley. Plunk went the ball into his glove. "Great play," Arthur called. Not everyone agreed. "No fair," yelled someone in the crowd. "Are flat players even allowed?" Stanley felt crushed. That night, Stanley talked to Arthur. "I'm a good player," he said, "and not just because I'm flat. But how can I prove it?" "I think I know a way," Arthur said. The day of the second game was bright and breezy again, but something was different. "Stanley!" gasped Miss Lambchop. Her son was not flat. It was bursting out of his uniform. Miss Lambchop gasped again. "My nice clean laundry!" A sock stuck out of Stanley's collar. A purple flurry blues trailed from his pant leg. "That's my favorite one," Miss Lambchop said. There was no time to worry about the clothes. A batter smacked the ball over Stanley's head. Stanley leaped into the wind, but this time Stanley didn't float up, and the ball didn't land in his glove. It sailed right over the fence. Soon it was Stanley's turn to bat. The pitcher had no trouble seeing where to pitch now. "Strike 1, called the umpire. "Strike 2, strike 3! In the bleachers, Arthur gulped. Had he made a terrible mistake helping Stanley unflatten himself? The last inning rolled around. The game was tied. Stanley came to bat again. He heard Arthur's voice in the crowd. "Come on, Stanley, you can do it!" The pitcher threw the ball, and Stanley smashed it! The ball flew into the outfield. Bap! It bounced off the wall. The right fielder ran to pick it up. Meanwhile, Stanley tore around the bases. First base, second base, third base. Stanley was headed home, but so was the ball. "Stanley, slide!" shouted Coach Bart. Arthur's heart raced. If Stanley was still flat, he could slide easily under the catcher's glove, but now what? Stanley stretched out his arms and dove onto the home plate. There was a swirl of dirt and socks, then the umpire spread his arms. "Safe!" he called. "Woohoo!" Arthur hollered. Mr. and Mrs. Lambchop clapped so hard their hands hurt. No fair, yelled someone in the crowd. Look at the muscles on this kid. Are players that big even allowed? Stanley grinned. Not too many socks next time, Mr. Lambchop called down to Stanley. Miss Lambchop looked at Arthur. And no blouses! Okay guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So this video was about Flat Stanley at bat. That was the book, and basically Flat Stanley wanted to play baseball. So at first he was thin and people didn't like it. And when he put in some socks to like make him buff, people were like, this guy's muscles, is that even allowed? Well, that's not fair. He tried to do it so he wouldn't get made fun of, but he still did. But okay guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have two questions for you guys. So my first question is, what did Miss Lambchop say to Stanley not to do next time, not to wear whatever things? And my second question is, what did Stanley do to win? Explain everything, not just one of the things he did, because everybody knows that, but all of the things, how he did that and what happened while he was doing that. Okay guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash that like button and subscribe if you guys want more of these videos, and I'll see you guys next time.